Remember when Buddy Matthews kissed Aaliyah Mysterio on screen in 2020? Were you a little uncomfortable watching that? WWE has had their fair share of controversial storylines over the years, but these discarded pitches will definitely blow your mind. I'm Jeremy, and here are 5 controversial storylines that WWE Superstars refused to do. Number 5, Ken Shamrock refused to participate in an incest storyline. Ken Shamrock joined WWE in 1997 and spent nearly 2 years there before leaving in 1999. During his time in WWE, the world's most dangerous man feuded with several top superstars, including The Rock, Vader, and Bret Hart. In an interview with Chris Van Vliet in 2019, Shamrock disclosed that the company officials once wanted him to do an incest angle with his kayfabe sister Ryan Shamrock in 1999. However, the former Intercontinental Champion refused to be a part of such a storyline. Quote, "It just felt like to me that they were trying to ruin the world's most dangerous man. They were trying to kill my character. So I took a stand against that to not let it happen," unquote. With the former UFC fighter refusing to take part in the angle, WWE eventually dropped plans for that controversial storyline. Later that year, Ken Shamrock parted ways with WWE to resume his MMA career. Number 4, Jeff Hardy refused to kiss Lita. In the early 2000s, Jeff and Matt Hardy were one of the top tag teams in Vince McMahon's company. However, the two brothers split and feuded for a while in 2001. In December of that same year, Jeff defeated his brother at Vengeance in a match where Lita was the special guest referee. The former women's champion would later side with Jeff in his rivalry with Matt. As part of the storyline, WWE initially wanted to have Jeff kiss Lita, his brother's real-life girlfriend, on television, but Matt and Lita straight away refused to do the storyline. In her autobiography, the former women's champion revealed more details about that incident. Quote, "We totally disagreed with that. They kept saying, no, we think the crowd will pop for it, but Matt and I put our foot down," she wrote. Lita also disclosed that Jeff also disagreed with the idea and refused to go through with the storyline despite WWE officials trying to talk him into it. After the resistance from all three involved, WWE eventually changed the kiss to a hug between Jeff Hardy and Lita. Not without consequences though, as WWE would soon take them off television for a few weeks before booking their return as a team again. Number 3, AJ Lee refused to be in a mental case storyline. In 2012, WWE wanted AJ Lee to do a storyline in which she would appear as a mentally challenged person to further add on to her crazy persona. It's rumored that the angle would have seen her character hallucinate, kiss a leprechaun, and dance with dinosaurs from outer space in a series of skits. Nevertheless, the former WWE Divas champion, who has spoken openly about herself and her mother suffering from bipolar disorder in real life, refused to do the storyline as she found it offensive. Quote, "It felt like it disrespected both me and my mother. It was a joke, but to me, it wasn't something to laugh at," unquote, she told the New York Post. WWE ended up dropping the storyline, but just like the Jeff, Matt, and Lita storyline, there were actions against AJ Lee as well. According to the former WWE superstar, the company took her off television for 2 months after that, and it might have been as punishment for not doing the skits. Number 2, Owen Hart refused to do a love triangle storyline. In the late 1990s, Owen Hart joined forces with Jeff Jarrett to form a tag team in WWE. Jarrett's on-screen girlfriend Deborah then became their manager. To add more fuel to their story, the creatives later suggested of doing a storyline in which Hart would have an on-screen affair with Deborah. In an interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling's Dr. Chris Featherstone, the former WWE writer Vince Russo disclosed that Hart turned down the storyline out of respect for his wife Martha. Quote, "He came up to me at TV and he just said to me, he goes, 'Vince, I can't do that to my wife.' And bro, this is Owen telling me. As soon as Owen is telling me, I immediately said to him, 'Okay, bro, then we're not doing it. It's that simple,' unquote," he said. In her book, Broken Hearts, The Life and Death of Owen Hart, Martha also revealed that WWE asked her to participate in the storyline before her husband refused to do it. Owen Hart would eventually return to his old persona, the Blue Blazer. According to Owen's brother, WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart, the company made the former European champion return to his old gimmick as punishment for his refusal to do the love triangle storyline. Number 1, the McMahon's incest storyline. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H dated for a few years before tying the knot in 2003. 2 years later, the billion-dollar princess got pregnant with the couple's first child. While she was pregnant, Stephanie's father and WWE chairman Vince McMahon suggested doing a storyline in which he would reveal himself to be the child's father. However, the WWE CBO immediately turned down her dad's suggestion. After her daughter refused the idea, the chairman reportedly suggested that Stephanie's brother Shane could be the one to play the child's father, and this idea was shot down as well. In an episode of Opie Radio Podcast, Bruce Pritchard shed more light on this controversial angle and added that it was a day of his life he would never get back. He stated, quote, "We were all on the phone going over everything, and it was classic Vince. What if I was the father?" Then there's nervous laughter because no one thinks he's serious. Then it became, well, what if? Unquote. And that is our list for today. Which of these moments made you cringe the most? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels by searching for WrestleBinge by Sportskeeda, as well as our regular channel, Sportskeeda Wrestling. Also head to our Facebook page, facebook.com/SKWrestling. That way you know when the latest news and content comes your way. Thank you for tuning in.